Welcome back to the Bush and Me Show. We have another special guest, and this guy is special to me because he is family. We have my guy here, now Washington Wizard,
Uh-oh. Close to home.
by way of Cortland High School, Montross Christian, Justin Anderson.
Welcome aboard, Justin.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here in the Bush and Me Show, man.
There you go. Bush and me.
Yes, sir.
So you grew up in Virginia, played at Montross Christian. You attended Virginia, but you were originally committed to Maryland. Tell us what happened with that whole process.
Yeah, that was actually an interesting one. It was crazy because I was at Montrose Christian. Gravis Vasquez was alum.
Okay.
Gravis was a passionate, fiery guy like myself. So I remember going to a practice and watching Gary and Gravis kind of just push each other, competing, yelling back and forth, let's go, And I was like, that's the relationship that I want with, my coach in college. And so Gary calls me maybe 24 hours before he retires. And he says, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to coach you. I wanted to be able to coach you, but I'm stepping down. I'm going to go into a new lane. And, he ended up going into broadcast. And he said, I wish I got the chance to coach you, but you'll be just fine regardless, wherever you choose. He said, if you need any help along the way, just let me know. And shortly after, I ended up decommitting because he did such a phenomenal job recruiting me. Ended up decommitting and going down to Charlottesville and playing for legendary Tony Bennett, national champions.
Was that a tough decision for you to make, or ultimately I think you have to be happy because you had a lot of success at UVA? But let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's different. A lot of guys don't ever have to go through that. A lot of guys, like I didn't have to transfer. Some guys don't have to go through the decommitting process, and it was nerve-wracking because I didn't know. When I decommit, am I losing something? Am I losing interest from a lot of other schools because I chose this one school already?
Definitely.
So when you open up that process, you open up your commitment, it's actually interesting to see the teams who come back around, who want to re-recruit you, and it gives you a lot of confidence. Being a young kid in high school, I was just a junior. So I got 1 year. I got my senior year to go on my official visits again and open it up again. So it was actually unique, but it was really fun. It was a good experience.
Nice.
So you went to Virginia.
Yep.
Defending national champs. Stayed there for 3 years, correct?
I stayed for 3, yep.
Left a little early. Tell us about your decision. How hard was that, and what impacted that?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, you want to stay in college for all 4 years, man. You want to get that full college experience. The biggest thing for me going to Virginia, obviously, is being a Virginia kid. I wanted to stay close to home, obviously, with Maryland as well. I wanted my family to be able to come to some games, be able to put a show on for the area. But when I got to Virginia, I had one goal in mind, and that was to try to become a pro. And when I got to my third year, I remember spending time with Jamon going into my junior year. You remember that?
Oh, yeah,
I came out to Chicago, and I was like, dang, is this what it's like to be a pro? Jessica was making eggs every morning. The babies were just chilling. The nanny was taking care of everything. It was a situation where I was like, dang.
Hashtag nanny life.
You know what I mean? So it was like cool because we would wake up every morning, breakfast was ready, and we did our lift first, and we did our speed and conditioning, and then he took me over to my shooting coach, who I still have a relationship with to this day, and I got work in from a shooting perspective, and I came back and shot 45% from three that year in college.
I love that too.
So,
I remember that too.
Yeah, because you came up here to stay. What was it? You stayed for a little while, and it was kind of crazy because we didn't even know that guy was there. We were just training out. We were just training at a spot there in Illinois, and the guy who owned the gym that we were training at was like, "Hey, you should go check out this shooting coach, literally right down the street from us." And we walked down there, and come to find out, dude had helped a lot of people work on their craft. And Justin, once he got introduced to him, he was in there every other day with him or every day with him, and he came back and he had his greatest year, and he had his best college year, definitely shooting wise. You got a little banged up that year.
Yep.
I know that had to be frustrating for you because you would have been a higher first-round draft pick. So can you just talk about, just having so much success and then kind of, being humbled or I guess having it taken away from you, but then also being able to finish?
Yeah, I mean, it's always sometimes you got to try to find a positive in every situation. I mean, you being 13 years, you've seen it all. I'm still baffled how the Ravens let a guy slip from 2 exits away.
For sure.
But it's a situation where I had to try to find beauty in that struggle. And I broke my pinky against Louisville. I remember the play exactly. I still try to play through it. I just couldn't do it. I remember trying to grab the ball, and the coach said, "You good?" I said, "I'm good. Let me rock." And I tried to grip the ball, and that thing was not holding on. So I was like, yeah, let me go out. Got X-rays. I broke it in 5 places. And at that moment, I had a decision to make. I had to make a decision if I wanted to finish my college career at UVA or if I wanted to go professional. And one person in my life who's a dear friend of mine, James Michael McAdoo, I learned from his story and talking to him and being able to get close to him over the course of the years. A lot of people talk about how he could have left as a freshman and was able to get drafted high and kill in the NBA. And I took it as an opportunity where if the league was, if they were calling, then I needed to answer. I didn't want to waste no time doing that.
Well, you go to school to hopefully get a career, and now this is your career. You had an opportunity. You have to take advantage of that opportunity. So when draft night was upon you, we were at Brock's in Fredericksburg. You decided to have your draft party back home. And I think that's the way it should be. I think family and friends are our foundation. Just talk to me about your emotions, just seeing the excitement on people's face because of you.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. You put it that way. Obviously, that was our dream, Sure. Every time we would see each other, we wanted to play sports. Sure. Whatever it was, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, whatever it was, you just wanted to play sports. And that just showed me that my love for the game was always very unique, and I wanted to try to go as far as I could. So on that night in particular, it was special because everything kind of finally came to fruition. It wasn't the end all, it wasn't the end goal, but everything finally came to fruition. And just being able to be around the people who watched the process and to still be able to connect with people and they say, I remember that night. Yeah. It's something that's always going to be near, dear, and special to me. So being at home was something that I wanted to do. I had the opportunity to go and be a part of the green room. But for me, I said, if I can only bring 3 people, why would I do that when I can have, I think it was like 60 people that ended up showing up. Why wouldn't I do that in front of my hometown to give the next man hope or one of the next youngins in the area hope to try to aspire to be just like me or if not better.
Right. So, when you do get drafted, all that is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to get into the door. But once you get drafted, you have to prove yourself every single day.
Oh, man.
Not just to your teammates, not just to your coaches, but you got to prove yourself to the front office.
Right.
Now you have an opportunity to play close to home. What does that mean to you just going forward? Because you've completed 4 years, correct?
Yep.
You've been on 3 teams.
Yep.
So now this is your 4th team.
Who were you drafted by? What pick were you? What round?
21st pick in 2015 to the Dallas Mavericks.
There you go.
That was an unbelievable experience, unbelievable opportunity. Mark Cuban and those guys, Dirk Nowitzki, those guys welcomed me with open arms. A year and a half into my career, I was traded. I don't know if you guys remember that DeAndre Jordan situation. Uh-huh. So we were trying to get DeAndre Jordan, and because we didn't get DeAndre, apparently they held him on lockdown in LA, Doc and those guys. We tried to get the next best thing. And so I thought, all right, we're about to get the next best thing. Next thing you know, I got traded heads up for Nerlens Noel, who was supposed to be that next best thing. And I don't think that ended up working out, so I wish I was still in Dallas. But, I ended up going to Philly and being able to be. It worked out great. Got to go to the playoffs, and I was there for a year and a half. Got traded then from Philly to Atlanta to be under Lloyd Pierce, who was last year was his first year as a head coach. Being able to help that young core, that was a fun group to be a part of. Trae Young kind of came into his own. John Collins, a few names to mention. And then now getting this opportunity, like you said, Jamon, to just come out here and be close to home, I needed it. From bouncing around from city to city, being a young kid from Montross, Virginia, it's very unique.
Born and raised, baby, Montross, Virginia.
Homegrown, you know what I mean? So, being in these major cities, being in these big cities, parents are far away, thank God for FaceTime. At some point I needed to just be around the fam, and I'm glad that I just got this opportunity that I can be able to harp on, jump all over. And this free agency summer was crazy for the big market guys, but it was also crazy for guys in my position when that water well started to dry up a little bit. And I'm just glad that I was gracious enough to be able to get the opportunity. Tommy Shepard, Washington Wizards, those guys believe in me, and now it's time to go and try to take this thing to the next level.
We've had our fair share of conversations about it. I'm excited about where you are, where you're going. But, we're going to wrap this Bush and Me show up. Justin, thank you for being here. This means a lot to me. This is family. So I'll always be following you. I'm excited about your journey. Man, let's get after it. You know what it is. We got to get after it and put your best foot forward, because guess what? You're going to do everything you can, bro. You're going to do everything you can, and you got to be happy with the effort you put out every single day. So
those of you guys in the local area, go check them out. Washington Wizards. Was it at Justin Anderson 1?
Yep, at Justin Anderson 1.
And at Push and Me Show, of course. Follow that. Justin, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.